Zorro.
Ferrets are weirdos, but they're irresistibly cute. They will destroy your home while stealing your heart, as well as your Crocs. So do ferrets make the best pets, or are they just a pain in the derriere, or the foot, or the finger?
Oh, Scruffles, ow!
These stinky slinkies are unlike any other pet. Part cat, part dog, part mischievous sock gremlin.
Hello.
And just when you think you've figured them out, they hit you with their biggest trick yet. Stick around to the end to find out the one thing that surprises even the most experienced ferret owners. So if you've ever wondered whether a ferret is the right pet for you, let's break down the pros and cons of living with these tiny little carpet sharks. Ferrets are the most fun pets I've ever had. I'm talking belly laugh levels of fun on the daily. No need for Netflix when you have these half-pint honey badgers around. They zoom, they dodge, they war dance, they leap at you with open-mouthed excitement and do these adorable little hops. They are living, breathing cartoon characters, and you get front row seats. But sometimes their antics are terrifying.
No!
Sleeping so deeply you think they've expired, attempting impossible leaps and crashing to the floor, eating something silly, stopping eating completely, or worse, going missing, often to be found hours later curled up somewhere unlikely. You'll have more panic attacks than you ever thought possible when you bring a noodle bandit into your life.
What are you doing up there?
Once they've run down their batteries, ferrets are the perfect nap buddies, curled up in your lap. They're soft, cuddly, and have a way of snuggling into your heart as well as your hoodie.
Can't stand it.
Don't expect them to sit with you on command, but when they do make the choice to curl up in your arms, there's something really special about it.
How did you get so beautiful?
If there's a hole, a ferret will try and squeeze through it, especially if they've been told not to. If there's a forbidden desk, they'll find a way to mountaineer it. If you thought your house was ferret-proof, think again. Keeping a ferret contained is an extreme sport. When it looks at your nice, neat room and furniture, it sees an endless adventure playground to be conquered or destroyed.
It's kicking water everywhere.
Ferrets also do not have a homing instinct, so if you lose them through an open window or door, they could be gone for good. Despite this apparent desire to escape, ferrets form deep bonds with their humans. They'll follow you around, make excited little hops when you come home, and steal your stuff just to show how much they love you. They might even decide you're so important that they want to stash you with all their favourite toys.
Excuse me, I'm being stored. Where are you taking me?
Which is what Scruffles has become famous for doing.
Scruffles.
Ferrets might be cute, but they can bite hard. It could just be playful, as ferrets wrestle aggressively with each other, and you need to teach them your personal boundaries. If you get them as a youngster straight from their mother, their biting could be about fear. Remember, they've only ever known the safety of their own litter until now. Or it could be about deciding the social hierarchy with you, their new family. When I first got Scruffles, she definitely wanted to be the boss and showed it with her teeth. Whereas Wriggles was the sweetest little thing right from the start. For the first couple of months, I thought Scruffles would always hate me, but as you can see, we're incredibly close now. But I still try not to let her near my face.
Don't bite my nose.
As much as she loves me, she has a tendency to grab at it with her teeth.
Ow.
Unlike Wriggles and Zorro, who are both more likely to lick me into submission. Like dogs, ferrets respond to praise and reward training.
Good girl.
They can learn to come when called, and even be taught tricks, like this simple one I taught my girls, right up to more complex commands like sit, stay and fetch, demonstrated here by the channel The Trained Ferret, because neither me nor my girls have the patience for this kind of work.
Sorry.
They can also be trained to poop and pee in a litter box, just like cats. But that training doesn't mean they'll obey the rules 100% of the time.
Oh, you waited until I pulled that out of there and then pooped in the corner.
You need to keep the litter tray spot cleaned throughout the day to encourage them to stick with the programme. After all, who wants to back up into a pile of their own poop? Talking of poop, ferrets do it a lot, day and night, because their digestive tract takes 4 hours to process food. If you're feeding them a balanced raw meat diet, there will actually not be too much coming out, as their bodies are extremely efficient digesters. However, a kibble-fed ferret will expel a lot more, and it will likely be more stinky, as all the foreign ingredients used to make kibble are ejected via the rear exit. Ferrets are not easy to feed well. They're obligate carnivores, which means they can only process food that's part of an animal. A well-balanced diet is crucial, and many common treats and foods marketed for ferrets are actually quite bad for them long-term. Not feeding them right has a high chance of leading to expensive vet bills after a couple of years, so make sure you do your research. You can start with my guide to treats for ferrets, which is linked here. They also imprint on food at around 6 months old, which means if they aren't exposed to a variety of proteins before then, they'll be quite difficult to switch later on. Ferrets do shed when they change coats for the seasons, but they have less dander than many other furry pets, which is one major thing that can bring on allergies. They're not completely hypoallergenic, but they're a better bet than many other furry friends. Still, if you are an allergy sufferer, I advise visiting with ferrets and getting them up in your face just to make sure. Unless you're lucky, finding a good vet will not be straightforward.
The question is, what do we do about vets?
Ferrets are classed as exotic creatures, and while they might behave like little dogs, their physiology is very different, so vets require specialist training to treat them. Because of this, not all vet practices will have a ferret specialist, which is fine for standard stuff like vaccinations and ear mite treatments, but if things get more complicated, you'll need a vet trained in the care of ferrets, which will be more expensive. When Scruffles got really sick with digestive issues a few years ago, I had to travel over an hour back and forth in a taxi, and expenses like that can add up fast. And because of inbreeding over the centuries and their delicate digestive systems, ferrets are prone to some not-so-fun diseases. Adrenal disease, lymphoma, ear mites, digestive issues, it can be a lot. And they can even catch human viruses and colds, so make sure you mask up around them if you get sick.
Oh no, it's got me!
If you live in an apartment with walls so thin you can hear your neighbours snoring, I feel for you, my friend. But ferrets are such quiet creatures, they are ideal for apartment living. They don't bark, meow, squawk, or quack. Honestly, who keeps a pet duck in an apartment? Even at their most excited, all you'll hear is this adorable chuckle, known as duking. You can't get just one ferret, not if you want to do the best by them, or unless you have a lot of spare time every day to be their bonded companion. It's not just cute, it's a biological imperative bred into them over centuries, and keeping a ferret locked up alone all day will be really bad for it long term. Ferrets sleep for up to 18 hours a day, so if you work long hours, they'll be perfectly content snoozing away until you get home. As long as you give them at least 4 to 6 hours a day out of the cage to engage in active mayhem, they'll be fine. Ferrets might sleep for most of the day, but when they're up, it's like flipping a switch on a tornado. You'll need eyes on every side of your head, and every step you take will be like treading through a minefield of furry chaos. If you're looking for a low-maintenance chill pet, a ferret isn't it. With their cute little bandit masks, ferrets look like tiny thieves, and they behave like them too.
Now it's my pen. She really wants the pen.
With a habit of stealing anything they can fit in their mouths, even if that something is many times their own size. If you love surprises, ferrets are for you. 1 minute your phone is on the table, the next minute it's under the couch, along with 3 socks, a spoon, and an item you haven't seen since 2019. They keep life interesting, sometimes too interesting. The right cage and accessories do not come cheap. A good cage will be upwards of $300. Then you'll need toys and enrichment like hammocks and tunnels. You'll also probably have to do some DIY around the house to make it ferret safe.
No!
If you can fit 2 adult fingers into a hole, a ferret can probably squeeze through it. And some ferrets like to chew cables or rip their way into furniture to find a good hidey hole. If you're not in a position to walk a pet daily, no worries. ferrets can burn off their energy indoors with their own brand of chaotic gymnastics. They don't need a lot of space nor a backyard to play in, just a lot of variety and plenty of obstacles to climb and dodge around. If you do like to get out for the occasional stroll, ferrets can be harness trained, which is objectively adorable. But remember, if you're walking them outside where other animals pee and poop, you need to get them vaccinated just like puppies.
Yay!
Also, never leave them on the ground when passing strange dogs, which might have a high prey drive and could pounce on your little fuzzbutt before you can react. Ferrets have a distinct musky odour.
I think it's an absolutely lovely smell, but not everybody does.
And no, you can't get rid of it. Removing their anal glands won't work because their skin glands also produce the scent. Bathing them too often will only increase their smell, as their skin overcompensates for the essential oils you're stripping away. It will also give them itchy, dry skin, so don't do it. You either tolerate the musky goodness filling your nostrils, or ferrets aren't for you. When a ferret gets scared or experiences pain or shock, it can release a pungent smelling spray similar to that of a skunk. I've even known my girls to do it during particularly boisterous play. It is powerful and unpleasant, and the smell may also come out when they poop, so get ready for a stink bomb every now and then. Ferrets are extremely intelligent because their brains have a curly cortex, which means they can learn and adapt ideas to different situations. It makes them excellent problem solvers, which is so much fun to watch. But that intelligence can also be a major downside. Ferrets will outfox you at every turn, whether it's sneaking into places they shouldn't be, stealing things they shouldn't have, or finding new ways to cause chaos. They get bored easily, so you'll need to change things up constantly to keep their brains occupied and their little noodle bodies out of trouble. If you need a best friend, a ferret will be there for you, always. They bond deeply with their humans and each other, making them some of the most companionable pets around. I've been through some tough times the past few years, and my girls always seem to know when I need a little extra love. It's like having a tiny therapy squad 24/7. If you already have small pets like rabbits, mice, and even reptiles, ferrets are not for you. They seem like fun here, but they're deadly predators and smart enough to figure out how to get what they want, eventually. Your small prey animal pets will be incredibly stressed just at the smell of them in the same house. And you could wake up one morning to a scene right out of a horror movie, forever changing the way you feel about your ferrets.
Oh my gosh.
Unless you have kids with extraordinary levels of self-control, I would say ferrets are not a good pet for small children either. Ferrets can be reactive and nippy, and if you pull away while they're biting you, they will likely just bite down harder. Couple that with the little fingers and hands of a toddler, and a playful bite could quickly turn into something much worse. I've had many different pets in my life: cats, dogs, guinea pigs, rabbits, horses, goldfish, and ferrets are hands down the most rewarding pet I ever had. They're incredibly social, and while it might take a little time to get bonded with them, once you are, you'll be part of the family. If you need a little help bonding with your taffy rats, I made a huge list of ideas for playing with ferrets, which is linked here. Not all ferrets are cuddly like this, and bonding can take a long time with lots of patience needed. If you want a guaranteed snuggle buddy from day one, you might be better off with a puppy. You'll find ferrets all have very different personalities, making them even more fun to get to know. For example, Scruffles loves to stash, Wriggles loves balls and is obsessed with socked feet, and Zorro is such a nutcase, so playful and a style of freaking out that is hilarious to watch. As much fun as they are though, without a good support network of ferret enthusiasts around you, planning a holiday will be tough. Most people who don't know about ferrets view them as scary, and if a nervous newbie comes in to take care of them, they will definitely try and take advantage. Your pet sitter will need to supervise at least 4 hours a day of playtime out of their cage, ideally longer. That's a lot to ask of a friend, and can get expensive if you're hiring a professional. The other option is to take your ferrets on holiday with you. I'm planning a post this summer exploring that possibility. I have no idea if it will be a relaxing break or a terrifying ride that ends in disaster. But if you want to know what camping with ferrets is going to be like, make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss that. And if you can overlook all of these cons, there is one final huge downside you must consider. A ferret's average lifespan is 5 to 7 years, but due to their intelligence and affectionate nature, the bond you form with them can be far deeper than with most pets of a similar lifespan. Saying goodbye can be sudden and devastating, as you'll know if you followed Luffy's story here with us last year. Ferrets leave tiny paw prints on your heart, so when they go, they take a chunk of it with them. Their time with us is short, but the love they give is enormous. It's up to you if the reward is worth the pain.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. Ferrets are the best pets if you enjoy chaos, unexpected cuddles, and having your socks stolen on a daily basis. They are bundles of fun, but they are not easy pets to keep and require a lot of care and attention. If you like peace, order, and keeping all 10 fingers unscathed, maybe consider a goldfish. It won't capture your heart in the same way as a ferret, but it also won't capture the TV remote. Before I finish, I promised to reveal the one thing that surprises even experienced ferret owners. This is it. Just when you think you've tamed the chaos, ferrets pull their ultimate trick.
Go up to bed.
By the time you've adjusted your entire home, schedule, and lifestyle around their weird little habits, you'll realise that you're the one who's been domesticated, not your ferrets. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Do you have any fun stories of your own to share? Let me know in comments below, as I love reading them and always reply. See you next time, Floof Crew.